Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. This is Clash of the Titans, the show here at Guy Boston Sports, where I go through every single big-time matchup throughout the entire college football season, giving you guys deeper insight, deeper analysis, but more importantly, more picks for each of these big-time pivotal showdowns. In today's video, we are covering the game. Number 1 ranked Ohio State going on the road against number 15 ranked Michigan. A rivalry, the best rivalry in college football, but a rivalry as old as time itself. Really great showdown. And as always, guys, I got some really great picks to go ahead and share with you. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. There is no better week to go ahead and make some money than rivalry week, the best week of college football. This is one of 6, that's right, 6 Clash of the Titans videos coming out this week. By the time this one comes out, 4 of those 6 videos will already be posted. The only one we're still waiting on after this one is the Tennessee Vanderbilt video. So make sure to check out all those videos and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because the best part is all these picks 100% free. So make sure to go ahead and check them out. We're also 62 and 33 on the year, so we're winning a lot of these games. So make sure to go ahead and check these videos out. And one last quick thing before we go ahead and get started here. By the way, guys, I have 3 picks to share in today's video. We have a spread pick, a team total pick, and a player prop in today's video. I want to let you guys know we're running a special promotion over at the Fade Me store for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the whole holiday weekend. Through December 2nd, we are offering up to 50% off on apparel over at the Fade Me store. As you can see, I got the Gambler hoodie on, got the Gambler hat. This is just one line of a number of different clothing lines we have over at the Fade Me store. We got the Gambler line, Just Bet It, Beers and Bets, so many different things, hats, hoodies, t-shirts, shorts, you name it, we've got it. Go ahead and check it out over at the Fade Me store. Link down below in the description. Again, up to 50% off on apparel through December 2nd. Hope you guys had a great holiday. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into today's picks. All right, guys, Ohio State, Michigan, 12 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. My first pick being my spread pick. And I am going with the Buckeyes here, minus 8.5 on the spread, which I am grabbing for minus 116 over on Novig. Now, look, I'll go ahead and say right off the top, this is an Ohio State football team that just hasn't really been all that battle-tested this season. You look at their schedule down below. They have the Texas game. Let's look at the overall 2025 numbers, last 10. They beat Texas back in week 1, which, you know, they're still a top 25 team. So that age has won. That win has aged pretty well for the most part. But besides that, though, trying to find their next toughest win, it's a toss-up between, I guess, Illinois and maybe Penn State. Washington, like, they're not really other great wins on their resume. They haven't really had the toughest of schedules. So there has to be acknowledged right off the bat. Michigan is honestly probably the toughest game they played all year. No disrespect to Texas, but I would say Michigan and Texas, they're ranked 15 and 16, so they're right next to each other. But, you know, it's in that same vicinity. They haven't played many tough ranked teams. So acknowledging that right off the bat, that being said, though, Ohio State has been one of the most, if not the most dominant team in college football this year. They are covering the spread at a 78% rate this season overall. At this particular line of minus 8.5, they've covered it in 91% of their games. And they've covered it every game since the Texas game, which they still won that game, but only by 7 points in that one. But besides that, they've covered this in every game since the Texas game. So they are destroying teams on a consistent basis here. Now, Michigan, against the spread, have not been great overall, 40%. But at this line of 8.5, they've covered 82% of their game. Now, Michigan has had a solid bounce-back year, but it has to be acknowledged on their side, they haven't had a lot of great quality wins either. And unlike Ohio State, which is undefeated, at least in the 1 or 2 tough contests they had, they won. For Michigan, and the few times they were tested this year, they came up well short in those matchups. At Oklahoma, they lost by 11, and then at USC, they lost by 18. Those are the only 2 games where they had legitimate good ranked competition, and they got beaten by double digits in both of those games. Their best wins, Nebraska, they beat them by 3, and then they beat Washington. Washington being probably their best win of the year. It's between that and Nebraska. Like I said, neither of these teams all that battle tested, but at least on the side of Ohio State, they can say they won all their games. Michigan lost their only 2 times they were really tested. They lost both those matchups by 10 or more points to Oklahoma and USC. So ultimately, I'm siding with the team that is more proven, that has dominated all year long over the Michigan team that has looked solid for the most part, but haven't really been proven, and I would say less proven than Ohio State. At least, again, Ohio State has won their games. From a matchup standpoint here, I mean, Ohio State ranks well in every category. The big advantage I do see here for Ohio State is their passing offense, which is top 30 in the nation in terms of passing yards per game. Against a Michigan pass defense is not terrible, but it's not that good either. 52nd in the nation, averaging 208.5 passing yards allowed per game. Michigan also having some injuries on their side of the ball on both defense and offense that could really affect this game in a negative way for the Wolverines. I think Julian Sayin and this Ohio State offense should be able to go ahead and score, not easily, but should be able to score a decent amount on this Michigan defense. They don't turn the ball over. They have a very strong offensive line, maybe the best offensive line in the nation. This is by no means an easy game for Ohio State, but they do match up decently well with this Michigan team. On the flip side, this is the best defense in college football for Ohio State. The only negative they have defensively is the fact they don't force a lot of turnovers. Besides that, though, it's incredible. This is the most efficient defense in the red zone in college football against a Michigan offense that's tied for 109th in red zone efficiency. So even if they do move the ball in Ohio State, they're going to have a hard time once they get deeper into Ohio State territory to go ahead and score. You also have a Michigan team that does not pass very well, 101st in the nation in passing yards per game, so not a very good passing team. They are all in on the run, and this is the second best run defense in the college football nation, okay? I almost said NFL. Although Ohio State, the way their run defense looks right now, honestly, they probably could maybe hang around in the NFL. Probably not, but, you know. Point being, I just don't see an area where Michigan has a key advantage. I really don't. I think Ohio State really has all the major advantages in this spot. The only thing I could say is maybe Michigan's running offense could maybe expose some weaknesses. I know Michigan likes to run a lot of outside zone. Ohio State outside zone, a little bit weaker defensively this year. And Michigan obviously has the home field advantage, which is a big thing in this rivalry, but I think Ohio State is clearly the better team. They have all the big advantages, and you also have the revenge factor. Michigan has now won 4 consecutive head-to-head matchups against Ohio State. Now, look, last year, Ohio State went on to win the national championship, so I think they're okay. Not okay, but I think they could stomach the loss last year because they won the whole damn thing. That being said, though, they haven't beaten Michigan since 2019 pre-COVID. So I do think that Ohio State in this position definitely wants to go ahead and win this spot. They are long overdue, and if you know anything about the rivalry between these two teams, losing 4 straight is just not acceptable. Ohio State, there's a revenge factor. They're at Michigan, a good chance to go ahead and stick it to their rivals here on the road, embarrass them on their home field. So although Michigan, they've been a solid team for the most part, and I do like what they have to offer for the most part, in this matchup, I just don't really think they're all that good. A good bet, at least, to go ahead and win against Ohio State or even cover this spread, if I'm being honest. The only thing, if you're a Michigan fan, you can hang on is maybe these numbers for Ohio State are a little faulty due to the competition they face. But I like Ohio State a lot. And then you also have this insight provided by Outlier, which indicates Ohio State Buckeyes are 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games against top 25 scoring defense. And you look at this, goes back to last year with the playoff as well. Notre Dame, Texas, Oregon, this year Washington and Texas. So I mean, really good numbers and they covered 9.5, and we have it at 8.5. Remember, they covered at 9.5 in 4 of those 5 games. Like I said, they dominated their way to a national title game. They've dominated all year long. It's hard for me to believe they won't dominate in this spot as well. So give me Ohio State here, minus 8.5 on the spread. And then my second pick, which I'm not going to spend too much time on because it kind of piggybacks off of that last pick I just gave, is the Ohio State team total over 24.5 points, which I am grabbing from minus 145 over on DraftKings. Ohio State has cashed this in 7 consecutive games, including 9 of 11 games this season. The one miss in their last 10 games being this Washington game where they scored 24. They missed it by 1 point. But overall this year, really good numbers. The Buckeyes are averaging just shy of 38 points per game this season, so they have been on a tear. Even last year, 81% cover rate, including playoffs. This is a team that scores consistently. Now, Michigan defensively, top 15 scoring defense, only giving up 17.9 points per game, so it's not a bad defense, okay? And you have seen this line, I think each of the last 3, Ohio State's failed to cash this over. That being said, the last 4 games, Maryland scored 20, Northwestern 22, Michigan State 20. Now, those are obviously all unders in terms of our line of 24.5 points, right? All unders, but all these teams in their lines, again, were lower, but they all cashed their overs. If they're giving up 20 to Maryland and 22 to Northwestern and 20 to Michigan State, offenses that can't hold a candle to Ohio State's offense, 25 points is not that crazy to get. It's minus 145 for a reason. They're averaging 38 points. They could go almost 2 touchdowns below their average, and you still have an overcash here if they get to 25. considering these other teams got pretty close to that vicinity, I think Ohio State getting 25 points should not be that crazy. Although, again, looking at the recent history between these two sides, a lot of like 23s and 24s, a lot of, close. I think the last time they scored more than 24 points, you got to go back to like 2021. So it's been a hot minute, but again, I think in this matchup spot, Ohio State has some clear advantages. They should be able to score 25 points is not that crazy here. And by the way, guys, we just passed the 10-minute mark in today's video. So if you have been watching up to this point, please go ahead and comment 10 down below. As always, guys, we appreciate those who watch through each and every single video here on the channel. It really does mean a lot to us. One last thing, guys, before we finish off with our player prop pick, I want to talk to you guys about the sponsor of today's video, Novig. Guys, if you have not dabbled into peer-to-peer exchanges, you are absolutely missing out. Using Novig allows you to get unbeatable prices and lines on just about every game. Why is that, you may ask? Because it is other users who are setting the lines. They are setting the odds. You are competing with other users, not the big time books. Peer-to-peer is growing at an absolutely crazy rate, and you don't want to be late to this, guys. Sign up with Novig today using the link down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. Spend $5 and get $50 in bonus bets instantly. It's that easy. It's that simple. Again, use our promo link down below. Bet $5 and go ahead and get $50 in bonus bets, especially with the holiday weekend. You have rivalry college football. You have all the NFL games going on, NBA games on. So much going on right now in the sporting world. Getting that extra $50 in bonus bets could be a big thing for you guys in terms of winning some more money for this weekend. So don't miss out on that opportunity, guys. Again, one more time, link down below in the description. Shout out to Novig for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's go ahead and wrap up here with our final pick in today's video, which is our player prop pick here. Jumping back to the outlier screen quickly. And we are going with Julian Sayin for Ohio State over 229.5 passing yards, which I am grabbing from -137 over on DraftKings. If you don't have DraftKings, you can go ahead and adjust the line slightly, and you can get this on a different sports book. You can probably go to like 230.5, 234, 235. You can adjust it slightly, but I'm taking it at 229.5. Which he's cashed in 55% of his games this year, averaging 257.45 passing yards per game this season. Now, you do see a healthy amount of red in the data here, but the reason why it doesn't concern me is the fact that Michigan, the one real area they are dominant defensively is their run defense. Now, Ohio State, not a great rushing team to begin with, but considering that Michigan's run defense, they're going to make sure Ohio State cannot run the football. It's going to be the Julian Sayin show. It has to be the Julian Sayin show if they're going to go ahead and beat Michigan. It is a good matchup like we've already talked about. Outlier indicates it as a neutral matchup, but that means it's not a bad one. 52nd in the nation, giving up 208.5 passing yards per game on average. You go down below here and you do see last few quarterbacks they faced. Now, again, take it with a grain of salt because look at these quarterbacks they played. Malik Washington for Maryland had 210 yards. He cashed his over, barely, but cashed it. Preston Stone, the quarterback for Northwestern, he had 184 yards, which cashed his individual over. It does not cash our over here. And then Ryan Brown and Aiden Childs for Purdue and Michigan State, respectively, they did not cash their overs. But again, it's you got to look at none of these quarterbacks hold a light to Julian Sayin, and as well as the offensive line that Ohio State has, the pass catching weapons Ohio State has. So I think Ohio State, again, this number, getting 230 passing yards against this Michigan defense. Again, one more time, if Malik Washington can get 210, why can't Julian Sayin get 230? You know what I'm saying? Considering the weapons he has, the offense he has, the play calling experience that this offense has, I'll take Julian Sayin all day against this Michigan defense. We're not asking him to throw for 300 yards or even 250. 230 passing yards in college football in 2025, especially for a quarterback as good as Julian Sayin, shouldn't be that crazy to go ahead and get. So guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much as always for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. Until next time, guys, I hope you're all winners. Let's go ahead and make some money.